So VTubers and creators might be screwed because it seems like this is about to get even worse. If you guys don't know, YouTube are going to begin using AI for age verification beginning next week. And it's not even next week now, it's coming up to a couple days time. Now, it is very scary to see this kind of coming up because, we don't know how much of an effect this can have on the platform itself. And obviously, yeah, it seems like it's going to have a big impact on a lot of VTubers and a lot of creators in general. Now, obviously, I've talked a lot about how this affects VTubers in particular due to the fact of them giving their ID away and potentially being, doxed by someone whenever it comes to, a database being leaked, a database being hacked by, obviously as, private companies actually hold a lot of the information that YouTube are setting these kind of ID verification systems around. So again, a lot of VTubers are very wary about that and are possibly considering leaving, a lot of social media like this because obviously VTubing has been a big way for a lot of people to stay anonymous online. Now, obviously not every VTuber is anonymous. Some, show their face. Some are not so private about their life or whatever, but at the same time, some do like to stay very anonymous, and that could be a big issue for them, whenever it comes to sharing your ID and sharing your kind of personal information, especially whenever it's so prone to being taken. But it seems like it's getting worse because it's not only YouTube that you're not safe from, it's also TikTok. TikTok have actually been rolling out age verification in the US, which is pretty crazy, for users, it believes, underage. They'll need to present a credit card or ID and selfies in order to access features on the app. So again, exactly the same as how YouTube are doing it. Now, obviously, as you know, lots of YouTubers use TikTok to kind of promote their platforms and kind of promote a lot of their streams and everything like that. It's literally like rule 101 whenever it comes to streaming. Promote your kind of content over on TikTok so that people come over and watch your streams. So again, there's a lot of VTubers that use TikTok who are now going to be either off the site or have to be forced to give their information to a company like TikTok, who obviously haven't had the most, safest of kind of, I guess, systems. Let's just say that. And obviously, they're known for constantly messing up in terms of moderation. And obviously, all of that added on to the fact that they're owned by a Chinese company. I mean, you're literally giving your data away to a Chinese company. Let's be real. And again, I didn't really like the fact of like the TikTok ban and things like that. I'm not a big fan of that, but at the same time, you do gotta like kind of bear in mind in a situation like this, you're giving your ID and selfies not to a US-based company in a US-based database. You're giving it to a Chinese company now, which I think is pretty crazy. But again, I thought that was pretty insane. I think they are obviously based in like Singapore and stuff like that now, but at the same time, I just, it's one of these things where at one point your data just gets so lost, and if you do this kind of stuff, your data will get so lost that you don't even know where the hell it's gone. And that could even present a bigger risk for you whenever your ID kind of gets out there, which I think, yeah, is pretty insane. And obviously, this proves as well that the US is not safe from this. The US have been sat there kind of laughing at a lot of people like us over in the UK, which, to be fair, we would probably do the same if it was the other way around as well. But essentially, yeah, they've been laughing, saying that, obviously we've been restricted on a lot of stuff, but obviously TikTok has rolled this out in the US, and I haven't seen them roll it out in the EU. Maybe they have already, but this one particularly says the US. So obviously the US is being targeted by a lot of these companies too, meaning that nobody is really safe from this issue. You're not exempt just because you are from the US. You're still going to be age verified, which I think is absolutely crazy. And I think that nobody should be age verified online, especially in these kind of formats. Now, I do think obviously parents should do better to get their kids off of social media and places like that, especially at a super young age, as it can really affect a lot of people. I mean, I definitely understand the dangers of that and the dangers as well of them, talking to people online. And I understand that that is a necessary kind of thing that needs to be put in place, but they definitely went the wrong way about this. Kind of IDing a lot of people and doing all of this kind of stuff is way too overprotective. And I think that obviously, I think there should just be some kind of switch. Obviously, I know there's already parental kind of controls and things out there, but maybe something similar to what we're seeing now, but like an on-off switch for it, so you can set it on your kids' kind of devices, meaning that they have to put an ID to even be able to access the website, meaning that it'll be much harder for them to get in, and only for those on the kids' devices, because instead what we've gotten is everybody getting these kind of prompts when it should only be kids that should be getting these prompts, when it is very easy to tell parents to kind of set this up on devices. Now, obviously, yes, there's a lot of bad parents out there, but I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of bad things out there as well. I mean, I don't really see why the argument for bad parents, it constantly gets brought up whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, because again, yes, bad parents do exist, but let's be real, I don't think adding this is going to really stop them from being even worse parents, you know? I think they need to be intervened in some other way than just telling them, hey, we're going to ban some stuff through ID. I think that's just incredibly weird. Now, obviously, as well, we've got some other things like the EU are actually planning on chat controlling. And again, you can see there's 15 member states supporting this and 3 opposing and 9 undecided. And they say there's no way to implement this safely. It will destroy private communications online entirely. If you're in the EU, please fight this. And obviously, yes, chat control proposal will mandate the scanning of all private digital communications, including encrypted messages and photos. This threatens the fundamental privacy rights and digital security for all EU citizens, which obviously, yeah, that sucks. And obviously, me personally, I'm not in the EU, so again, I know a lot of Americans can't really understand that sometimes. The UK is no longer part of the EU, as in the European Union. We are still part of Europe, as much as a lot of people, like to think that we're not. We haven't just floated away to the middle of the Atlantic. We are still in Europe, but we're not part of the EU, which is the actual kind of, I don't know how to describe it, government, council, whatever you want to call it, where a lot of these countries kind of work together. We're no longer a part of that, meaning that we shouldn't be affected by this, but knowing the UK, we tend to just follow what the EU do anyways, and the US do anyways, meaning that, this could also be affected over in the UK too, and in the US as well. If that potentially happens. Now, obviously, as well, we got other places, for example, like Wikipedia over in the UK, also fighting this in the Court of Appeals, essentially saying stuff like, the Online Safety Act is obviously terrible for the internet, and pretty much fighting the good fight. Wikipedia have been doing a good thing in terms of, its court challenge against the UK's Online Safety Act, but it didn't go very well, as they ended up losing the court challenge, which obviously, it's terrible. And I see people saying, wait, what? Wikipedia is an American project. This makes no sense, which I think it makes perfect sense. Wikipedia is used all over the globe. It's not just a US-based thing. Obviously, they want to fight for everybody to be able to access all the information. Wikipedia is a site that is supposed to be there for your to inform you of what is going on, to inform you on facts, to inform you on people, on places, on literally everything. And obviously that being censored is very detrimental to not only the site, but also to the people that use the site. It's very detrimental, as, the government or whatever can choose to then censor whatever they want about whatever, goes on. And I think that's absolutely terrible. And it feels like we're living in some kind of authoritarian state by, even saying that in the first place. It feels like, you're being kind of misfed information and kind of, withholding information from people, which obviously is not how, you want this to go at all. I think, obviously I believe that a lot of people should be free to be able to look up whatever they want and to be able to research whatever they want, obviously within some confines. Obviously some stuff is pretty crazy, but, there's a lot of things that, people should or should be able to look up that, aren't being able to look up. And obviously it's terrible for a lot of people that are just trying to get by and use Wikipedia. But yeah, as I said, all of these kind of, different rules and things that are coming into place are obviously going to affect YouTube as well, and YouTube is going to be heavily affected by what is going on. So again, we'll have to wait and see for the next couple of days whether this is going to have a big effect or if this is going to be not as big as we think it was going to be. But me personally, I think it's going to have a big effect. I think it's going to obviously draw a lot of viewers away from the platform because they don't want to age verify, meaning that they're going to lose out on a lot of viewership, meaning that many people might see a big drop in views. Now, probably not by that much, but I think that there might be a little bit of a difference, especially if you do make content that could be considered as like content that needs to be age verified and stuff like that. You're definitely screwed if you are, fit into that kind of boat. But hey, that's about all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off again. You got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, YouTube is just failing at the moment. TikTok's failing at the moment. Wikipedia, obviously trying to fight the good fight there, but obviously failing, which obviously is absolutely terrible. And yeah, it just doesn't look very good for the future of YouTubing, VTubing, and just creating content in general. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know why I ended with, if you guys did enjoy it. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.